Hello mate, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. How you doing mate? Are you doing okay? Because I hope that, I really do. Friends, welcome back to, of course, Chelsea News, the daily series every single day where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it mate, more importantly asking for yours. Plenty of stuff to talk about, not least what Todd Boehly's been saying to Bloomberg, talking about his plans of Chelsea, what he plans to do financially, and basically finally take advantage of this landscape that Chelsea's been in and not basically utilised to their max capacity under the previous stewardship of Roman Abramovich, who of course had Chelsea as a bit of a passion project. But now Todd Boehly and Clearlake will look to utilise Chelsea in every sense of expansion and greatness, hopefully. We're going to reference some of his quotes from Reuters. Also talk about some transfers as well. There's some other stuff to catch up on, updates on certain players. Romelu Lukaku could have his medical for his return to Inter next week. So saith, or suggestions from the media. Settle in, friends, get comfortable. Thank you for dropping a like on the video. It just takes but a second, and it's a way of supporting the channel. And of course, you are all welcome to subscribe. You are all welcome to. Right, by the way, should you choose to subscribe, make sure you hit that bell. Ding, ding, ding. You know what? I want to start off with Todd Boehly's quote and what he's been saying. I'm going to reference Reuters.com. I believe he said this with Bloomberg originally. Some of his quotes, and we're going to react as we go along. So, ding, ding, ding. June the 17th. UEFA's financial fair play rules are starting to get some teeth, and clubs will no longer be able to sign players, quote, at any price due to the risk of sanctions, said Chelsea's new owner Todd Boehly. Now, of course, in the time of PSG paying Mbappe whatever he wants, in the time of wages going super high, in the time of state-backed clubs like, Newcastle and Man City, like Newcastle, if they could, they would just spend their way to a Champions League win right now. That's where we're at. So maybe after the pandemic and the financial climate settling a little bit, for the sake of competition and stuff, or at least the sake of not too much financial juicing and doping and stuff like that, we're essentially seeing UEFA actually put their foot down again. So let's read on. An investment group led by Boehly and Clearlake Capital have acquired Chelsea in May after former owner Roman Abramovich put the club up for sale after the invasion of Ukraine, after Moscow calling it a special military operation. Yes, we know all that. Chelsea have been the most successful team in England in the period since Roman Abramovich bought the club in 2003, thanks to large part of the Russians' investment. None of us would pretend otherwise. Quote, financial fair play is starting to get some teeth, and that will limit ability to acquire players at any price, Boehly said at the Super Return International Conference in Berlin. He goes on to say, UEFA take it seriously and will continue to take it seriously, brackets, more teeth, means financial penalties and disqualification from sporting competitions. Pause. In theory, UEFA do take it seriously, but remember when they took it so seriously that they thought they had evidence about Manchester City breaching their financial fair play rules, and they tried to disqualify them from their own sporting competition in the Champions League, and Man City's big financial muscle then converted to a big financially muscular legal department went to arbitration of sport and basically got it thrown out. So UEFA do take it seriously, but they're not even strong enough to kick people out of their own leagues when they find people breaching the rules, allegedly. That's all I'm saying. Boehly, who is part owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers MLB team, said he was hoping to use an American model to develop football's financial potential and help Chelsea players build a better personal brand, this is quite interesting actually. Quote, we think the global footprint of the sport is really underdeveloped, Boehly said. There are 4 billion fans of European football. There are 170 million fans of NFL. Global club football is a fraction of the NFL media money. This is really interesting. And if it is that obvious and that true, it's friggin' mental how no one's come in and really tried to flip the script on this. yet. Quote, we are also going to be thinking about how we get more revenues for the players, question mark. Oh yeah, because players need more money. Cry, cry, cry. Well, you know, the players were like that regardless, weren't they? People like money, man. He says, if you look at the NBA's LeBron James, for example, he has a whole business and a whole team dedicated to what's not on the court. So I think there's an opportunity to capture some of that American mentality into English sports to really develop them. I mean, fair enough. Look, he's like, look, man, I want to make the players into a more bigger brand. Maybe that imbues a sense of confidence and, you know, self-worth, and they play better. I don't know. But fair play. The players will like to hear that and rally around that cause. But what he's saying is, and many of you might find this unsavory, but what he's saying is there's so much money to be made here, and expansion that's not being utilised. And it is I mean, you can say money is an unsavory topic, but when it's the Chelsea owner saying it, and he's going to be saying it largely through the lens of Chelsea, he's just talking about the sport here because that's what one does. But if he thinks, right, I'm not going to try my hardest to make Man City, you know, a state-backed club more rich, he's not going to be thinking that. He's going to be thinking, how can I make Chelsea as rich as possible but make me look like a sort of pioneer at the same time? That's kind of, I feel like, what he's doing, Todd Boehly there. Yeah, if he thinks he can earn Chelsea much more money, much more marketing exposure, branding, then all good. Right, let's move on, speak about some player transfer updates. At Chelsea_HQ, referencing or citing Gazzetta, Italian publication, saying Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku could be undergoing his Inter medical as early as next week. Time of recording, of course, it's Friday the 17th of June, so that could be a matter of days away. Does sound like a deal is being aligned. Inter have agreed to take him back. Chelsea pretty much are like, right, you can take him, it's not working. But they need to align a little bit better on a loan fee. I think as time goes by and Inter imagine him in their squad more and more, there'll be a little bit more wiggle room, I think. They've offered like 5 or 6 million loan fee plus paying his wages. Chelsea originally wanted like 20 million or something, and maybe that's gone down to like 10 or something. Maybe if they can get it to like a 10 million fee or something. If there's an obligation to buy, then everything changes. And, you know, obviously, I think we've said before, or certainly speculated about bonuses. So if he scores like a bunch of goals, they pay more. And, you know, to be honest, Lukaku back at Inter, in that Inter team, you'd kind of back him to score goals, wouldn't you? Alright, so I'm jumping over to Football.London now, article by Louis Chandler, just quickly giving you an update on Gabriel Jesus, who of course has been linked to Chelsea quite a lot, but is expected to move to Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus' offer, with Man City confirming the signing of Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund, plenty of speculation has mounted over the future of Gabriel Jesus, with Chelsea as well as Arsenal linked to the Brazilian forward. Of course, yes, and he doesn't want to go. The Times have reported that the Gunners have made an improved offer for the Man City striker, and in spite of this new offer not meeting the 50 million valuation, he'll only have 12 months left on the deal. But Premier League striker, they cost a lot, don't they? Especially from City, even if he's not always been first choice. Despite that, it is expected that the 8-time Premier League goal scorer, the 8-time Premier League goal scorer for 2021, so what, he scored 8 goals, will move to the Emirates, basically, essentially pouring cold water on this. I mean, I'm sure he'd prefer to go to Chelsea because Champions League football and Chelsea over Arsenal, no offence Gunners, but by all accounts from the financial package, that's the situation. Romelu Lukaku, an update on him from Football.London. One high-profile name looks set to leave is Lukaku, with the Belgian pushing for a move back to Milan just after 1 year, 97 million spent, etc. On Wednesday, it was reported by Romano that Inter had seen the opening bid for Lukaku rejected. He reported the stated offer consisted of a £4.2 million loan fee, which is what, 5.5 million euro, really not a lot, which was swiftly rejected by the Blues. But talks are set to continue, and Di Marzio's calling today #Lukaku Day. So we'll see what developments there. There's more talk of Robert Lewandowski as well in relation to being linked to Chelsea. Lewandowski, never saw that really happening, purely because I think Chelsea made an inquiry to Bayern Munich, but he's just so got his head, like he's tunnel vision on Barcelona, and Barcelona do really want him. So you can imagine Lewandowski ending up in Barcelona, and with a striker as well. But I know some of you will feel frustrated about Gabriel Jesus. A lot of you preferred him over the idea of getting Raheem Sterling from City. And yes, he is that kind of mobile centre forward striker that probably would have suited Thomas Tuchel in terms stylistically. But then again, how much better is 50 million Gabriel Jesus over, our current player Armando Broja? Like, he'll be better, but how much better? Is he worth spending £50 million more better and putting on a really expensive high contract? Or, do you give Broja a chance to duke it out with Havertz in that spot? Chelsea may yet still buy a high-profile forward, especially if Romelu Lukaku gets his deal to Inter. Maybe Christopher Nkunku, of course, yesterday's video we spoke about with Fabrizio Romano revealing, in his words, that that Chelsea have been looking closely at Nkunku for a while, as they do with RB Leipzig forwards in form. Right, let's move on quickly. Sport Witness I want to speak about now, that just cited about some players as well. Chelsea mentioned 3 players in transfer meeting. Team meeting. Chelsea have joined Paris Saint-Germain in the chase for Milan Skriniar. Of course, we've talked about Skriniar before. Let's hear the update. According to Di Marzio, the Ligue 1 winners have made an offer to Inter Milan that includes a €50 million fee plus one of their own players. That's a lot of money. The Nerazzurri have not been entertained by this proposal, as they only want cash for the centre-back and are demanding a unrealistic €80 million transfer fee. So what's €80 million? What is that, like 68 million pounds or something for the centre-back? I know he's in his prime, but it's too much. Skriniar is also of interest to the West London club, Chelsea, who are in talks with the city outside over the Romelu Lukaku return. Of course, the striker has a great desire to join the Italian club and has been confirmed by Inter CEO Alessandro Antonello. So pretty much the guys at Inter now are saying, yes, you know it, we know it, he wants to come back. On Wednesday, the two clubs did hold discussions for the Belgium international. During these talks, Chelsea's interest in Skriniar, Denzel Dumfries, and Bastoni emerged. So Chelsea spoke about these Inter players that they like in this meeting. Sky Italia also stated the Premier League side have shown interest in Skriniar and 2 of his teammates. Yeah, so those 2. They add that the certainty for good relations existing between the 2 sides, the San Siro club leaders would listen carefully if Chelsea were to make an offer for the Slovakian or the 2 other players. Well, it's difficult to somehow include that in the Romelu Lukaku deal, isn't it? I think it would probably be like, look, come on, let's maintain a good relationship here. We're going to get you Lukaku back. You ultimately are going to make money out of us from how we bought him in the first place. Do us a favour, mate. Let's keep a good relationship going. Who knows, in the future, you might want a Chelsea player. We might be able to sort you out, mate. Do you know what I mean? You generally want to maintain good relationships with teams, and Chelsea have often done that. Even with like Real Madrid, we're buying it. We've got this thing with Real Madrid where Chelsea might dislike them, or Chelsea fans, but Chelsea as a club have done a lot of business with them. We bought Morata off them, we bought Mateo Kovacic off them, we sold them Eden Hazard for ridiculous money. They've got free transfers off us and Rudiger. I mean, I know that's sort of none of our business in some ways, but do you know what I mean? There is a relationship there historically as well. It goes back. So of Chelsea selling players and buying the odd player, Makelele from them and stuff. So yeah, interesting. What do you think though, guys? I'm really interested in getting people's thoughts on Todd Boehly's stance on Chelsea and football in general. We might have a bit of a trailblazer here owning the club, and it could be an important figure in the modern game moving forwards. And yeah, look, I'm really keen to get you guys' opinions on the players, the transfers, and everything. So comment down below, and thank you for dropping a like and subscribing if you're new. Like I said, videos every day, sometimes more than a video a day. So turn the bell on to get notified when I upload. I'll see you very soon, mate. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life, seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.